What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of CNC. This is episode number 70, and we start today's stuff on the back of our win against Genk by seeing that Gavin Humphreys has hit 90 overall, and there it is boys, it is over. Our first ever player out of the academy to hit 90 overall as a teenager. Yep, as a 19-year-old, he is one of the world's best players already, and what's crazy is he's just going to keep on getting better really quickly. And now I don't want to jinx this, but based on what I've seen in the development plans, I really should have included it for you there. His growth is so quick. It only takes him like, 3-4 weeks to grow a rating at a time, possibly a little bit longer than that now. He is 90 overall. I've never had a player get anywhere close to 99 overall. I mean, in our last career mode with Brentford and Milan and Real Madrid, obviously Robbie became a 95 rated striker, which is ludicrous. But with Humphreys, I mean, there genuinely is a chance. I'm struggling to get the words out of my mouth here because I can't even visualize it, but there genuinely is a chance this guy could become 99 overall. And I mean, listen, it's a small chance. It's a slim chance. It's never happened in any career mode save I've ever done. I've never seen it. But there is a chance that Humphreys, based on his growth and based on the fact he's only 19 years old, could become 99 rated. I don't know what I'll do if that happens, man. I'll be taking pictures on my phone. I won't believe it, to be honest, but hey, you never know. Still, 90 overall. It's his team, man. Coming out of the academy since season 1, taking the captain's armband. He's the man for club and country, and he's made this save what it is. Still, first game of today's episode, Fulham away, Craven Cottage for this one in West London. Rabbi Matondo, talking about the man of the series. Humphreys might be 90 overall in the star, but Matondo's still the best player in the team. Scored our first two, Darren James bagged our third right for the break, and while Stansfield will put Fulham back in the game in the second half here. Didn't really feel too threatened in this game. Fulham, they took too long to get going, if you know what I mean. It was Jay that was getting a chance for them. Another great save there, kept it at 3-1, but to be honest, they took way too long to get going in this game. You'll notice it in a lot of your games as well. Like the AI, there comes a point in the game where they're trailing, where they'll totally change their pressing methods and they'll just throw like every single body forward around like the 65-70 minute mark, or maybe a little bit before. And I mention that a lot. Like if you've got a really quick team, it puts you under pressure. You've got to make sure that when you're passing out from the back, you're accurate, you're composed, you're concentrating. Don't get me wrong, because if you surrender possession, you're probably not a man light, but you're going to be struggling against like 6 players bombing up towards your penalty area. But if you can keep hold of the ball and you can work the ball behind them, then you'll get chances on the counter to get more goals and kill the game off. That's what we did for the 4th goal there. Ben Davis wrapped it up, and Rabbi Matondo getting 2 goals and an assist as well. And I'd show you the stats to start the season off, man. I tell you what, Gavin Humphreys, 90 overall, 19 years old, yet Matondo is still the main man in this team. I totally bottled it with Rabbi towards the end of last season. We went on a poor run towards the end of the campaign that ended our chance of qualifying for the Champions League. But for Matondo last year, I equalled the goal record of 32 in a single Premier League season. I'll be honest, he should have broken it pretty comfortably and had a chance to get to that magic 40 that only Ivan Toney and Samuel Bell have had in any save I've done. I totally bottled it last year, but this year he started off on red hot form once again. He'll have another chance this year to get to that magic 40. I'd love to do it again, man. When Toney did it, that was the first ever time. I went ballistic when it actually happened, and then I did it with Bell in my Cork to Glory save last year. But if I remember correctly, that wasn't in the Premier League, that was in the Championship, I do believe. But yeah, I'd love to do it with a 3rd player, and if anyone's going to do it, Matondo's got a golden chance this season and in this save as well. Still, 2nd game of today's episode. This was Stoke City, Championship side, EFL Cup 3rd round. Threw out a backup side for this one, and I'll be totally honest here. I didn't mind one bit it was a bit of a cup giant killing, because it's the EFL Cup. Yeah, you want to win everything, of course you do, but to be honest, we got far bigger fish to fry, man. I mean, it's our first season in Europe. It's our second year in the Premier League. The board don't care about the EFL Cup. We got 4 trophies to compete for this season. I often say one gotta go. And if one's gotta go out of the 4, the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Europa League, and oh yeah, the Carabao Cup, I think you know which one I'm a totally fine, sacrifice. We've got 2 domestic cups and one is of far higher prestige than the other one. So going out of the EFL Cup could prove to be a blessing in disguise, because to me, we've got so many games coming this season. It's probably a good idea to get out of it early, unless we were going to go really, really far and have a chance of reaching Wembley and getting to our first ever cup final. I didn't mind going out one bit. Far bigger fish to fry this season. So yeah, third game, Arsenal away, Emirates Stadium, back on the weekend, back in the Premier League. And again, this is why I didn't mind going out of the EFL Cup, because this is a big game here. The Gunners in 5th place start the season off, a really good start for Arteta's side this season. I really felt as though if we were to be in a genuine title race this season and had the best possible chance of getting into and staying in the top 4 like we couldn't do last season, we got to win these games. I talked about it at the start of the season off. We've got to win these games against the traditional top 6, if you will, if we are to be a Champions League side. It was all Newport County in this game. I've been the far better team. I just couldn't break deadlock until I did. 25 minutes to go. The man, he's so good, they named him twice. Lloyd. I often talk about it in a front 3. There's always one guy that doesn't get the attention as much as the other 2. Great camera angle here. And in this team, it's Lloyd. Like you got Matondo, he's the star, he's the guy. And then his sidekick in the front 3 is Dan James on the left. And then, Lloyd's pretty decent as well. But he scored the only goal of the game, this one, 1-0 the final score. And again, that is why I was totally fine going out of the EFL Cup, because that win on the Premier League was far more important to me there. Big win there keeps us in the top 4 and keeping pace with Liverpool. They're off to the best start this season there with a big 3 points to the Emirates. Following that, Nico Williams completed his position change from right back to left back. Doesn't really mean much, to be fair, but we'll give him the defensive wide back development plan that'll improve the relatively low strength and also give him a high defensive work rate in time. Because now he's in his mid-20s and around full potential, his growth is going to be incredibly slow. So I don't know if I'll be able to get him to where I want him to be, which is a mid-80s fullback with a 5-star weak foot and high work rates. I don't know if I'll be able to do all of those things with Nico Williams, but the most important thing is he gets a high defensive work rate. I would like to get him the 5-star weak foot next, because again, he is playing on the opposite side of the pitch, on the left-hand side. But I don't know what it is, but inverted wingbacks or wingbacks playing on the opposite flanks, I never really had too much of a problem with it, Like you've seen this season, oftentimes I've had like a Norrington Davis or an Aaron Lewis playing on the opposite side. Like Lewis has spent, probably half the time playing left back or left wing back in this team, as he has playing right wing back, which is his traditional side as a right-footed player. I never really have too much of a problem playing a fullback or playing a wing back on the opposite side of the pitch. They seem to be okay with that completely. So yeah, for Williams, I'd like to get him the 5-star weak foot, but if he doesn't get there, if he's just too slow of growth, it's not going to be a big deal. A 3-star weak foot is not that bad. As a left wing back, he'll be totally fine there. That's where he's playing for country, and that's where he'll play for club as well. Still, for the following game, this one was Applewell, taking them on away from home. Super excited for this second game of the Europa League group stage. And after winning the first one against KRC Genk, we were pushed by the Belgians. And we were pushed in this game as well. We took the very early lead through Matondo, and I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to get a big win here and a big one on match day 2. But the host struck back, levelled it, and I needed Scott Boyd to score his first goal for the club to make it 2-1, restore our lead in this game. Otherwise, we'd have been level at the break. And to be fair to Applewell, this was a really tough game, and you would have seen by my lineup once again. I've talked about it, and I'll say it again. I've picked a really strong lineup in match day 1 and in match day 2 for both of these Europa League group games here. Even though we are the front runners to top this group and the favourites to top it as well, I'm going to take this competition really, really seriously and not leave things to chance. And with 13 minutes to go after Price made a really big save to keep us still leading by a goal. Talk about a swing. We go up on the other end, and Tyler Roberts off the bench gives us a 3-1 scoreline, and that was how the game will finish as well. well. That really settled some nerves there, because to be fair to APOEL, despite being winless in their first 2 games, alongside Rangers and KRC Genk, all 3 of them yet to get a win in their first 2 games, whereas we've jumped up to the early 5-point lead with 6 points on the board. It's been a lot tougher than the group suggests. You know, the 3 teams below us, Rangers, KRC Genk and APOEL, in their first 2 games, a third of the way through the group, none of them have managed to win so far. But it's been tougher than it seems, man. And away at Ibrox against Rangers, I'm predicting the same sort of tough battle as the first 2 games. And anyway, for our final game of today's episode, well, you might have been waiting for this if you saw the title. Gavin hits 90 overall and scores a WORLDIE. And there it is, final game of today's episode, Brighton and Hove Albion. We've had a lot of battles with throughout the course of this series, both in the Championship and in the Premier League as well. Oh, mate, this is absolute class. It is so rare I'll show 2 replays, but if any goal justifies it, it is this one. I've talked about this guy as a distance specialist. He's already scored like 4 or 5 goals from 30 yards plus, and there's another one. Poor throw out, takes the ball down, takes the ball up with a first touch, and then the first time volley, loops it over the goalkeeper, his 2nd goal of the season in the Premier League. This guy can do anything, and if anyone could hit 99 overall, it is this guy, Gavin Humphreys, with an absolute scream. You know, goalkeeper distribution is so poor in this year's FIFA, but when you can capitalise like that, it looks absolutely glorious. Newport County 1, Brighton 0. We saw Ben Davis go down soon afterwards, whilst Brighton did try and hit back their Graham Potter side. Couldn't find a level, a great save by Price, kept it to 1-0, and there it is. Humphreys' WORLDIE inside the first 15 minutes gives us the 3 points, and that truly was absolutely amazing. So to start the season off with Newport County, who continue to stay on Liverpool's heel. They've won all 7 of their first games, 100% record, 21 points on the board. We're only 2 points behind. Start the season off, long way to go, but the champions showing no signs of giving up their throne, but we're the closest challenger to their title for now. But that will end today's episode of CNC, guys. Big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, please drop a like. Most love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of CNC very soon.